Listen to me carefully. What you are feeling right now is not weakness, it is not confusion, and it is definitely not random. Something has been pressing on you lately, a weight you can't fully explain, a tiredness that sleep doesn't fix, a subtle tension in your chest when you look at the world, the news, the future. I know this feeling. I've seen it before. And as a father, I would never stay silent while my child is being drained by something they cannot see. Because we are living inside a manipulated world. And if you don't learn how to protect your energy, it will slowly consume you without ever asking permission. Stay with me. What you were about to hear was never meant to be explained this clearly. Not with force, but with information, emotion, fear, urgency, division. The world doesn't shout anymore, it whispers. And those whispers shape how you feel, how you think, how you breathe. I've lived long enough to recognize patterns. They collapse through exhaustion, through distraction, through emotional depletion. And right now, humanity is exhausted. You wake up already tired. You scroll already tense. You consume stories of conflict, instability, threats, crises that feel endless and unresolved. Your nervous system never rests. Your intuition never speaks. Your inner silence has been replaced by constant noise. This is not accidental. This is design. And before I go any further, let me say this directly to you. If you stay until the end of this video, you will understand something that most people will never realize in their entire lives. Not just how the world manipulates energy, but how you can step outside of that system entirely. That's why I ask you now, early, before the noise pulls you away, subscribe to this channel and leave a like. Not for me, but because what you're stepping into is not entertainment, it's protection. And once you see what I'm about to show you, you'll understand why finding this space again might matter more than you think. Now listen. Geopolitics is not just about borders and power. It is about emotion management on a planetary scale. Wars, economic fear, political tension, cultural division. These are not only strategies of control over land and resources. They are strategies of control over attention and energy. When the world is unstable, people are easier to influence. When fear is constant, clarity disappears. I remember a time when news was something you checked once a day. Now it follows you everywhere, in your pocket, on your screen, in your mind. And every headline is crafted to provoke something: fear, anger, outrage, hopelessness. These emotions are not neutral. They drain life force. As a father, I watched generations grow more informed and yet less grounded, more connected and yet more lost, more aware of the world and yet less aware of themselves. And that's the real danger. Because when a person loses connection with their inner center, they become programmable. They react instead of choosing. They absorb instead of discerning. The manipulation doesn't need to convince you of a lie. It only needs to keep you emotionally tired enough to never question the truth. There is an invisible war happening, and it is not fought with armies. It is fought with narratives. Every narrative carries an emotional frequency. Some calm you, most disturb you. If you allow every narrative to enter you unchecked, your energy becomes fragmented. You start to feel like something is always wrong, even when nothing is directly happening to you. You feel pressure without a clear source. You feel urgency without a clear reason. And the manipulated world is very loud. I want you to imagine something. Picture yourself standing in the middle of a massive city at night, screens everywhere, lights flashing, sirens in the distance, thousands of voices speaking at once. That city is your mind when you don't protect your energy. Now imagine stepping into a quiet room. No screens, no alerts, no noise, just breath. That room still exists inside you. But most people never return to it because they are taught to look outward for meaning, safety, validation, and direction. Geopolitical tension thrives on this outward dependence. When people are disconnected from themselves, they seek authority externally. When they are afraid, they surrender agency. And slowly, subtly, they forget that their energy is their own. Let me tell you something most won't say. You don't need to follow every global crisis emotionally to be informed. You don't need to absorb fear to be responsible. You don't need to carry the weight of the world to be compassionate. That belief is a trap. The system benefits when you confuse awareness with emotional suffering. As a father, my instinct has always been to protect, not by hiding the truth, but by teaching discernment. Protection of energy does not mean ignorance. It means sovereignty. It means choosing what enters your inner world, because everything you consume mentally becomes something you carry energetically. And energy once drained affects everything: your health, your clarity, your relationships, your purpose. This is where most people make a fatal mistake. They think protection means building walls, but walls isolate. Awareness filters. They are the ones who can stand inside chaos without letting chaos enter them. That is mastery. And mastery begins with attention. Attention is currency in a manipulated world. Where you place it determines what grows inside you. Fear grows when you feed it. Calm grows when you choose it. Clarity grows in silence. I know silence feels uncomfortable at first, because silence forces you to meet yourself. And many people have been running from that meeting for years. But that meeting is where your power returns. When you slow your breathing, you interrupt the system. When you ground your body, you reclaim presence. Ask yourself this often. Why am I feeling this right now? Is this emotion arising from my direct experience, or from something I consumed? This single question dismantles manipulation, because manipulation depends on unconscious reactions. The moment you observe instead of react, the spell weakens. There is a reason ancient traditions emphasized stillness. Not because the world was safer, but because the mind needed protection. The modern world didn't invent manipulation, it perfected speed. Everything is faster now, faster news, faster outrage, faster fear cycles. Speed prevents reflection. And reflection is dangerous to control systems. That's why slowing down feels rebellious. That's why presence feels radical. That's why protecting your energy feels like swimming against a current. But listen to me carefully now. The cost of not protecting your energy is far greater. It costs you your intuition. It costs you your joy. It costs you your sense of meaning. And eventually, it costs you your identity. People don't lose themselves all at once. They lose themselves in fragments. One drained day at a time. One unconscious reaction at a time.
One
ignored inner signal at a time. until one day they wake up and realize they don't recognize who they've become. I don't want that for you. That's why I'm speaking to you now. Not as an expert, not as a teacher, but as a father. You are allowed to step back. You are allowed to choose peace. You are allowed to disengage from emotional manipulation without disengaging from reality. You are allowed to protect what is sacred inside you. And here is the truth most people never hear. The world does not change when you absorb its chaos. It changes when enough people refuse to be controlled by it. Calm minds see clearly. Clear minds make better decisions. Better decisions reshape the future. This is not spiritual bypassing. This is spiritual responsibility. Because an exhausted soul cannot serve anything. Not truth, not justice, not love. Energy protection is not selfish. It is foundational. When you are present, your actions are wiser. When you are centered, you are harder to manipulate. And manipulation fears nothing more than conscious individuals. Now let me bring this home. Everything you feel has meaning, but not everything you feel belongs to you. Discernment is learning the difference. You don't need to fight the world. You need to stop letting it live inside you unchecked. Return to your breath, return to your body, return to silence. Even 5 minutes a day disrupts years of conditioning. And slowly, something shifts. The noise loses its grip. The fear fades. The clarity returns. You begin to see the world as it is, not as it is presented to provoke you. And when that happens, you realize something quietly powerful. You were never powerless. You were just distracted. Now, before you go, let me ask you something. Have you felt this draining pressure lately? Have you noticed emotional fatigue that doesn't fully make sense? If yes, write a comment. Not a long explanation. It's just a simple acknowledgement, because awareness grows stronger when spoken. If this resonated, subscribe to the channel and leave a like. This space exists for one reason: to help you stay conscious in a world that profits from unconsciousness. Protect your energy. Protect your mind. Protect your inner world. Because in a manipulated world, awareness is the ultimate freedom.